It's moon day, it's my luteal phase, and it's the Scorpio full moon. All of those would be reasons for me not to film today. But there was something calling me, and I just felt like I need to speak. My name is Katerina, and welcome back to my channel. I am your guide through the shadows. My literal job is to guide you through the underworld, to come out the other side. I'm all about mythology, mystical, the energy of that. And knowing that that's kind of my job, sometimes I just have moments of like, oh my goodness, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually doing this. When I grew up, I was obsessed with mythology. I am half Greek, Cretan specifically, and I just have this romanticized view of mythology. I have this romanticized view that possibly they're my ancestors, but I just have this energy towards them, and I always have, knowing that that is my calling, that I am the person that's meant to take you to the depths of your soul and bring you back again as powerful, true, raw self. I think that is genuinely a beautiful gift. And I am very, very thankful to the stars and the universe for providing that with me. I cut my hair also, which was a impulse decision. It was, I think it was a Venus in Aries, because I genuinely was like, it was like day one of Venus in Aries. And I was like, I want to cut my hair. I think I want to cut my hair. And then the next day I was like, yeah, I'm going to cut my hair. And I did it. I feel like hair is, especially to women, I feel like it just holds a lot. Hair holds a lot, I think, and it holds a lot of emotions, especially like when we've been brought up in a world that's like longer hair is beautiful, longer hair is more feminine. I still will have hair. I'm never going to shave that off. I just don't think my face would suit that. But I have had long hair for a really long time and I love it. And I feel like there's something that connects me to like my ancestral roots with that. You know, a lot of my family have really long hair. My yaya has really long hair, and there's just something so beautiful about that. But it's the intention behind it. The intention behind me keeping my long hair was that I felt like I wasn't ready to let go of that stuff yet. That let go of the view that I'm only beautiful with long hair, or let go of the view that like my hair will hide parts of my body. And I have released that, and I genuinely feel like so good. I also feel, because it's so hot, my hair, like my neck, my back can breathe, because my hair is super thick and it was down to my bum. So it was time. It was time. It's like on day 3 of being washed. So I'm definitely not showing up as kind of my best self, but I feel like I'm showing up as my true self, which is what I am all about. I'm going to go through a little story time with you. And it's something that I am scared to talk about. And even in my head right now, my Scorpio self is like, don't show too much. But it's the message behind it. And when you're hiding yourself because of fear of what people will say, that's not the message that you want to give to yourself or to the universe. I feel that for a very, very long time, one of my deepest wounds, which I knew kind of already, but not to the depths that astrology showed me. I use astrology to figure out core wounds of people, clients where I have helped them really figure out what their deep core wounds are and how they can help themselves get out of them. But those deep core wounds were all in my chart, were all in their chart. And one of them was the fear of being seen for who I am fully. And I think that actually determined my life. You know, I wouldn't tell people what I thought of things. And it wasn't even in politics or anything like that, which I really do speak up on. It was just in kind of the thoughts that I might have, the what I might be reading. It was things that even as a child, as a kid, I felt never fully seen. When I started to look at astrology, I wondered whether I was just born with these fears, you know, because they were in my charts from the moment I was born. The stars decided that I would fear being fully seen. And that has had and that has like had this effect where I don't feel seen. So I fear being fully seen, but then I just never felt seen. I never felt understood. I always felt like I was being misunderstood through child, teenage, adult years, all the time. And through therapy and through my own work, I realized I chose unavailable men, emotionally or physically. Every man I have let in my life, bar the last man, honestly, we're all emotionally unavailable. Maybe a little bit of a physical unavailable too. And it was safer that way. I not only didn't need to share my full self, my depths of my soul, even though that's what I literally craved. And I didn't realize I was doing this. Like, I genuinely didn't until my last experience. But I was craving that need to be fully seen. I was avoiding being fully seen, all because I feared being fully seen and being left. And that's exactly what happened. I've had, you know, a bit to process what happened, and I came to this conclusion. I realized recently that actually the men that I have chosen have come from a fear. I've chosen them because I fear being fully seen and left and abandoned or betrayed. And if you had told me maybe a year ago or even 10 years ago, I would have been like, I don't fear being betrayed. I'll just leave them. Like, I don't fear that. But it's the fear of being fully seen in yourself. They understand you, they see you, and they still don't choose to stay. That's a hard thing to process. And I literally lived my core wound. I did. One of my core wounds just happened. And I'm here still. I'm okay. And that tells my brain, oh, you don't need to fear that anymore. You can show up as your most authentic self now. And this isn't even in relationships, this is just in general as well. I didn't have a big friendship group. I always felt like I was misunderstood. I've never found my people. Even to this day, I have a very, very small connections, but I still haven't felt fully seen in that. And I realized it's me, it's not them. You know, there might not be a connection there, and that's fine, but it's actually me being scared of showing up as myself. You know, I have a lot of thoughts, and I have a lot of energy that is, I prefer the deep, you know, dinner time conversations than I would prefer going out and dancing all night. I prefer the conversations that get to like the depths of your soul. And it's so interesting because that's literally what I crave. I crave someone to get to the depths of my soul, and it's what I want to do with the other person. But I just had this block, and I just wasn't realizing what that block was. And a real life incident happened that put a light on this block so much. Because before I saw the block and I was like, oh yeah, I fear being seen, okay. But I would like put it on here, like I'd fear being seen online. I'd fear being seen around like a big group of people. I'd fear being misunderstood by people who just are not the same as me. But like, I didn't really get to the depths of my soul bit. I kind of just thought, oh, I'll eventually find someone who gets me, who understands me. But in order for that to happen, I have to show myself. I have to have those conversations where I feel like I want to tell them something weird, or I want to have that conversation where I say to them, look, I didn't like the way you did that. Or I have to open up. I have to talk about my trauma and the way I deal with things in order to be fully seen. And I just wasn't until this experience. And it makes me sad thinking that, but it also makes me feel so proud of myself that I spoke up. I feel like I'm going to cry, and it's definitely this, and the full moon is Scorpio. It's like really heavy. I felt seen, fully seen. I have never felt that way before in my life, ever, by anyone. And they saw me, and they chose a different path, and that's okay. But that path didn't include me, and it wasn't this dramatic kind of ending where sometimes I think my head goes. It was just a deep understanding and knowing. And with that core wound came up. And I was like uncontrollably crying for days. Every night, every morning I'd wake up. And I realized when I had enough energy to delve back into my shadows again, I realized that loop. I am literally living out of a loop I just discovered. And I'm here still. I triggered a huge wound of mine, and I am still here. Healing, but here. Tender, but here. And I didn't run away. I didn't try and polish myself. I didn't try and say, oh, I need to go on a huge glow up now, because that means that myself right there isn't good enough. It was just a thing of like, I'm here. I'm going to work through this, and I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to come out the other side. And that's all what rebirth is. Death and rebirth is you going through things, whether they are a new job, a move, a breakup, or you just uncover a wound that you didn't realize you had, or you have a wound and you uncover where it came from, and you cry and you let it out and you do somatics and you come out the other side different to the way you were before. That doesn't mean your past self was bad. That doesn't mean the person who was living with that wound and didn't know was stupid. It just means that you are real, you are living, you are going through these things. You could be the, I could be the highest priestess in the world. I could be the most wise and experienced priestess and still be triggered by things and still uncover things. This is a life process. But the thing that I always think is, if you don't show up as your raw, authentic self, if you don't choose based on the feeling of your body, if you don't go with your intuition, you get further and further away from who you were meant to be. And that's the feeling of lost and stuck. I might go into that in a separate video because I've been there, deeply been there. But this just wanted to be a little message to say, don't be afraid of the thing that you crave. I have Lilith in my 8th house, Pluto, Venus, or in Scorpio. So I am very 8th house and 9th house heavy, 8th house specifically. And that shows that I am really scared to be vulnerable. I'm really scared to be seen because I think they'll take something from me, or I think they'll leave. I'm scared of them leaving. I'm scared of them abandoning me. But what's worse, the feeling, the thing that you've craved your whole life, or always feeling misunderstood or empty or alone because you haven't just decided to show up as your raw self. This is very Lilith. Very Lilith. I think I made a video on Lilith. I haven't made a video on Lilith. Oh my goodness. Look up where Lilith is in your charts and it will just show you what you're so scared of being. Whether that's like Lilith in your 3rd house and you're so scared of you feel like you have a voice, but you feel like you're so scared of speaking your truth because people won't like you. That is Lilith. It's like you are like the gagged muse, like you just are just waiting to throw that ball out, throw that piece of paper out of your mouth and just scream, speak, sing. You're sitting around a table of people and they're talking about things and you just don't agree with them. It might not be something as strong as, societal shit that's going on, but it might be something you just don't agree with. Maybe they're making fun of someone, or maybe they're saying something about a TV show that you just don't agree with. It could be so trivial, but it also could be so huge. And you sit there and you think, no, I'm not going to do it. No, I'll just wait. No one cares what I think. It's fine. And then you'll go home, you'll get into bed, and you'll be replaying what you would have said. Say it. Lilith is wanting you to live your real, raw truth. And the more you dumb that down, the harder it is to be like fully yourself, fully seen in that, fully raw, true. Like, you are a powerful, beautiful soul, and you deserve to be living your richest life. And by richest, I mean most authentic, most true life. That's what wealth is, to me at least. And you deserve that. So, anyway, I feel like I should wrap it up before I tell you all about my other exes. So, speaking of Lilith, Lilith is, and I did not plan this, I swear. Lilith is in my Wealth Rebirth course. That used to be called the Dark Feminine Wealth Codes, is now called the Wealth Rebirth. It fits more into like what it literally is. You are going through a complete rebirth. I'm guiding you through your shadows to the underworld and back to reclaim it. And if that interests you, that is below. Lilith is in that with all the houses and the signs, like I said. If you feel like you're interested, then again, link is below for that, and all my other details are below too. I feel just like, how wild is this? How crazy is this? I am living my, the wound is one thing. That's like life at the end of the day. But I'm living my path. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Sometimes I just have to sit there and be like, I'm doing it. I am doing it, and I am going to have a big cry now. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.